Google just made sure you never have to worry about content creation again. With their new build mode powered by Gemini 3 Pro, you can finally create your perfect AI assistant. Because let's be real, you shouldn't have to adapt to the platform should adapt to you. Build has a ton of features, and in this video, I'm going to show you all of them so you can pick the ones that fit your workflow. Then I'll show you how to combine them to unlock 100% of their potential. And I'm willing to bet there's at least one idea in here that could quietly slip into your daily routine and never leave. And once your app is ready, you can simply download it or run it straight from your browser. To save you time, I've put the direct link and all the prompts we use today in the Discord below, so you can just copy and paste instead of typing everything out. At the top, you've got a big prompt box where you describe the tool you want in plain language. Under that, there's a grid with all the different app types you can build. Some options need paid APIs, but everything we're using today is completely free. And if you scroll down to the Browse or Gallery section, you'll see a bunch of ready-made examples you can open and remix later. For now, we'll ignore those and build our own step-by-step. Before we start building anything crazy, let me give you a super quick tour so you know what you're looking at. Up here, you'll see the model set to Gemini 3 Pro preview. You can switch to other Gemini models, but honestly, just stick with the latest one and leave the rest of the settings on default. Google already tuned them, so everything works out of the box. Next to it, you've got speech to text. Click it if you don't feel like typing. You can talk to build or even upload a file or an image and use that as your instructions or reference. Then there's the I'm feeling lucky button. That one generates a random app using one or more tools. Most of the time, it's just inspiration. Sometimes it's actually useful and you can spam it as much as you want until something interesting appears. But the real magic is this. You just pick one or more of these tool cards, write a short prompt explaining what you want, hit build, and you've got your own app. Now, I'll walk you through what each card can do with real examples, and at the end, we'll combine them to build some insane assistants. We'll start with one of my favorites, create conversational voice apps. Here, we turn Build into a fake job interviewer. In the prompt box, I just tell it to act like a demanding hiring manager at a top AI company and run a realistic interview with follow-up questions. Hit Build, wait a few seconds, and you get a simple interface with a microphone button. When you speak, the bot answers like a serious boss deciding whether to hire you. Good morning. We're here today to discuss your qualifications for the senior engineering role. Please begin by providing a brief introduction of yourself. It's perfect for practicing interviews, negotiating a raise, or just getting used to answering hard questions out loud and by changing a couple of words in the same idea. You can turn it into a strict but friendly language teacher that corrects your mistakes and keeps the conversation going in the language you want to practice. The next tool is something I genuinely use, a fake news detector built with Google search data. With Build, I created a rumor checker that helps me verify headlines before I believe them. I paste a claim or a news headline. It searches the web in real time across reliable sources, and then tells me if it looks true, false, or misleading with links to what it found. Hit Build, and in a few seconds, you have a box where you drop any headline. The app runs a proper search, compares different articles, and then explains whether the statement is accurate or twisted to sound more dramatic. In a world where AI can generate fake content in seconds, having your own personal rumor verifier is honestly priceless. Sales teams are drowning in tools, one for leads, one for emails, another for CRM. But what if you could do it all in one platform? Meet SalesTarget.ai, the all-in-one sales OS built to help you discover, engage, and close faster. Start with Lead Explorer. Access over 50 million verified B2B contacts. And yes, you can validate and clean your email lists right inside before sending so your outreach reputation stays strong. Next, launch AI-powered cold email campaigns. Fully personalized, tracked, and optimized. When inboxes go quiet, switch to LinkedIn automation. Automatic profile views, connection requests, and DMs that feel real, not robotic. Every lead, reply, and deal is tracked in the built-in CRM, while your AI copilot helps write sequences, summarize analytics, and suggest your next move, all in one dashboard. From discovery to closing, sales target. AI unites everything your sales team needs. Lead Explorer, email outreach, validation, LinkedIn automation, CRM, and Cpilot. Fewer tools, faster results. Try it free with 100 credits today at SalesArget. AI, your all-in-one sales command center. Next, let's make Build talk to the real world with use Google Maps data. We're going to create a hidden gems finder. I tell Build that I want an app where I type a city and a type of food, and it should use Google Maps to find places with very high ratings, but not too many reviews, and show them as clean cards. Build understands the logic and wires everything up. After a short build, you type in a city, and it returns a list of spots that match those conditions with all the details ready. You can recycle the same idea for tourist attractions, coffee shops, mechanics, co-working spaces, anything that lives on maps and you want to filter your way. Now, let's use image understanding with Analyze Images. If you've been watching AI news, you've seen those apps where you take a picture of your pantry and it tells you what to cook, usually expensive and often worse than advertised. With the new Build, we can connect to powerful image models like Nano Banana Pro, use the Analyze Images card, and build our own fridge chef. I just described that I want to upload a photo of my open fridge or some ingredients. It should recognize what's inside and then generate a gourmet recipe using only those ingredients. Build takes care of the hard part. Once it's ready, you upload a photo and you instantly get a full recipe based on exactly what's in that image. And this template is reusable. Instead of a chef, use the same structure with Analyze Images to create a math problem solver. You upload a photo of an exercise or handwritten equation, and the app solves it step by step in the style your teacher expects. No retyping, no extra explanation. From schoolwork to DIY repairs, you can probably already see 5 different ways to use this. If you come up with a better idea than mine, let me know in the comments. Now, let's talk about a function that saves a ridiculous amount of time. Transcribe audio. If you hate catching up on long meetings, this is going to be your best friend. It converts audio to text and will turn it into a meeting minutes generator. I tell Build that I want to upload an audio file from a meeting, class, or conference. It should transcribe it and then summarize it into key points and action items. That's all. After it builds, instead of listening to a 1-hour meeting you missed, you just upload the file and get a clean summary in a few moments. You can adjust the tone, more formal for corporate, more casual for study groups, but the result is the same. You get the important parts without wasting your day. The next tool is also a huge time saver, and I've been using it a lot personally. I've had to read a ton of long documents and articles lately, and I don't always have the time or focus. So I used Build to create my own personal podcaster. I pick the Generate Speech card and tell it I want an app where I paste a long text and it reads it aloud in a natural, engaging voice so I can listen while I drive, clean, or work out. Now, any article, PDF, or blog post turns into an audio episode. You can even tell it to read like a fast, energetic YouTube narrator and use it to test your video scripts before you ever record them. If you prefer podcasts over PDFs, this feels almost unfair. Nearly 2 years ago, we kicked off the Gemini era, one of our biggest scientific and product endeavors ever undertaken as a company. Let's move into something more serious: contracts and important documents. If you've ever had to sign something and thought, there has to be a catch here, this next tool is for you. Build lets us use Think More when needed, a mode designed for deeper reasoning. I use it to create a contract loophole scanner. The idea is simple. I paste a clause from a contract. The model thinks step by step about risks and fairness, and then explains whether there's anything suspicious or unbalanced in that text. Once it's built, you have a box where you paste any clause you're unsure about, and the assistant breaks down what could be a problem and why. You can turn the same idea into a project or startup evaluator. Paste your idea. Tell it to analyze how it fits in the current market, where the risks are, and what opportunities it sees. Whenever you want slower, deeper thinking instead of instant replies, you switch on Think More when needed, and let Gemini do the heavy lifting. Another tool I love is a custom chatbot with memory. One of the most annoying things about generic chats is having to repeat your context every single time.
What you do, how you like your answers, what matters to you.
I choose the AI-powered chatbot card and tell it I want a personal assistant that remembers the preferences I share. Things like I'm vegan, I create YouTube content, or my name is Malva, and uses them automatically in future conversations.
A few seconds later, you've got your own assistant that actually remembers who you are. Later, when we start combining tools, this memory will be key, but even by itself, it already feels like you've trained your own AI.
Now, let's flip the context.
Imagine you work in customer support and spend your whole day answering people in multiple languages. Normally, you'd be copy-pasting into a translator and fixing the weird phrasing by hand. That wastes a ton of time.
To fix it, we use fast AI responses powered by the flashlight model.
I pick that card and tell Build that I want an instant translator, where I type in one language and it shows a natural translation in another language underneath, in real time with a drop-down to pick the target language. Build turns that into a live translator where you type and the native-sounding version appears instantly. So you basically have an autopilot for repetitive messages, emails, or support tickets. Same app, different prompt, completely different impact on your daily work.
Next up is what I like to call our general writing engine, Gemini Intelligence in your app. This is your everyday text mode, but we're going to give it a specific job. Think of it as the middle point between a super deep, slow analysis and a lightning-fast reply.
I use it to build something I call Cortex Email Rewriter.
The only thing I tell Build is that I'll paste a rough email draft, and it should rewrite it to sound professional and clear while keeping my original intent. When it's done, you get a box where you paste your messy email, and it turns it into something you'd actually send to a client or your boss. From there, you can reuse it for proposals, LinkedIn messages, outreach, whatever needs to sound better but still like you. And finally, one of the most impressive functions, video understanding. This mode actually analyzes videos you upload and explains what's happening.
We'll turn it into a sports commentator. I describe that I want an app where I upload a short sports clip and it breaks down the play describing what happens step by step like a real commentator. Build connects the video analysis for us.
Once it's ready, you drop in a highlight and it generates a clear play-by-play summary you can use as captions or voiceover. But it's not just for sports. If you're watching a coding tutorial and there's a segment you don't understand and a screenshot isn't enough, you can upload that short clip and tell the app to explain what the person is doing. It will walk you through the logic of the code based on what's on screen in plain language.
All right, those are the main functions one by one.
And if you've been paying attention, you probably noticed that some of the cards in this menu mention generating images and videos.
The thing is, when you try to use those from inside Build, they start asking for paid APIs. The setup gets more complicated. They don't always work as smoothly as they should, and it's very easy to end up getting charged without realizing it.
So, if you want to generate images or videos, I recommend doing it directly in Google AI Studio with the official tools. I already have several videos on the channel where I show you how to do that step by step.
Here, what I really want is to show you what Build does best, combining these free features into one assistant, because yes, you can select more than one of these cards and ask Build to create a single app that uses several of the functions we've just seen. Let me show you a few multi-tool setups that I use all the time in my own workflow, and I think you're going to love them.
First, imagine a career co-pilot built with Create conversational voice apps, Gemini Intelligence in your app, and Think More when needed.
With Create conversational voice apps, you keep the interview simulation. It talks to you like a real hiring manager, asks follow-up questions, and forces you to think on your feet.
Then, you plug in Gemini Intelligence in your app to handle all the writing tasks around that. It rewrites your follow-up emails, cleans up your answers into bullet points, and helps you draft a better resume summary.
Finally, you add Think More when needed, so the same assistant can also review contract clauses or offer letters, taking a bit of extra time to reason through the fine print before telling you if something looks unfair. One app, 3 cards, and you've covered interview practice, email writing, and basic contract checking without jumping between tools.
For studying or research, you can turn Build into a deep study system by combining use Google search data, analyze images, generate speech, and think more when needed.
Use Google search data checks whether a headline or claim looks trustworthy, pulling live information and linking to real sources.
Analyze images lets you snap a photo of a textbook page, a worksheet, or a diagram and have the assistant extract the important information or solve the problem step by step.
Generate Speech reads your notes or articles out loud, so you can listen while commuting or cleaning and think more when needed is in charge of the heavy reasoning.
It helps you stress test your essay ideas, project proposals, or research questions by thinking through pros, cons, and real-world context before giving you a final opinion. Together, those 4 cards give you one study partner that can fact-check, read, solve, and reason with you. You can also build a life and travel assistant by mixing use Google Maps data, fast AI responses, and AI-powered chatbot. Use Google Maps. Data is what you use to find hidden gems in any city, restaurants, cafes, bookstores, or whatever you like, filtered exactly the way you want.
Fast AI responses make sure the assistant answers instantly, which is perfect when you're on the street and just need quick translations, directions, or short answers on the go. An AI-powered chatbot ties everything together as a context-aware helper that remembers what you've already asked, what kind of places you like, and which languages you're comfortable with.
Over time, it feels less like a generic bot and more like a local friend who knows your tastes and answers fast. Thanks so much for watching.